In this video, we're going over some of the best settings to use here in Black Ops 7. If you are trying to drastically improve your aim, accuracy, as well as gun skill, you came to the right place. If this video does help you out, feel free, drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications, stay up to date with any and all settings, as well as class setups and tips and tricks. As you can see, I play with an Xbox Elite controller on PC with one paddle, the short paddle on the back, set up for jumping. Now, these settings are going to work no matter what controller you're playing with, and also no matter what console or PC you are playing on. For the button layout, I do recommend running tactical. This is going to be whether you're playing with a controller with paddles on the back or a standard controller. Tactical is amazing because it is going to remap your crouch and prone button. All you have to do is press down on the right thumbstick so you can enter, crouch, prone, and obviously drop shot while still being aimed down sight. This is going to make you a lot more deadly at those close and medium ranges. And with the Omni movement here in Black Ops 7, this is going to be key with winning more gunfights. This is also going to remap the melee button, so you're gonna have to press B, but it's way more advantageous to be able to drop shot, get behind cover, and still be able to aim down sight so you can maintain your accuracy. Now, here's where things are gonna get really interesting. For your horizontal and vertical stick sensitivity, I always recommend playing within that 1.2 to 1.6 sensitivity range. This is going to be roughly a 4 to a 7.5 sensitivity window. You want to go ahead and play within this window so you guys can figure out what sensitivity setting works best for you. If you are a run and gun aggressive style player, playing on 1.6 is going to be perfect, allowing you to still turn on other players, but you're going to be accurate at longer ranges so you can win more long range gunfights, because that's where a lot of people are going to be falling short. They win gunfights at close range, but at medium and especially longer ranges, they're inaccurate. This setting here is going to be perfect, giving you a mixture of both worlds. Obviously, if you are a more slow-paced player, you can bump this down to like a 1.4 to a 1.3. You're not really going to need that turn-on sensitivity, but if you are a run and gun player, definitely check out the 1.5, 1.6. You're going to love this because you can do everything you could like on a crazy sensitivity, but everything is going to be a little bit more controllable, and accuracy is key. Everything else here is going to be the same. I personally have vibration turned off. The reason I have vibration turned off is I don't want to have any unnecessary play with my controller that could potentially throw my accuracy off at longer ranges. This is a setting you're either going to shut off and never turn it back on, or maybe you like the vibration, you want to keep it on. It's going to be personal preference. Now, here are my dead zone settings. These are going to be personal preference. Again, it's going to be depending on your controller health, so keep that in mind. Now, under the aiming tab, there are some settings we absolutely must adjust. These are going to be drastically impacting your medium to long range performance for the better. Now, you want to go down to the AD sensitivity multiplier as well as focus. I highly recommend going ahead and putting this to 0.7 for both. Now, it's on 1 by default. The reason you want to go ahead and put this on 0.7 is so there is less stick play with your thumbstick at those longer ranges. Remember how I said a lot of players are losing gunfights at medium to longer ranges? This is going to tighten up everything and allow you to be a lot more accurate at those longer ranges so you can win more gunfights. If you're struggling at those ranges, definitely go ahead and make this change. You're going to see an immediate improvement to your gameplay, and you're definitely going to be outgunning a lot more players. Now, aiming advanced settings, you do want to go ahead and open up this tab. Some of these settings are kind of hard to find, so make sure you guys are paying attention. Your AD sensitivity, transition timing, you want to go ahead and make sure this is on instant. By default, it is on gradual. Instant is going to remove any type of delay, so make sure you guys do that immediately. Everything else here is going to be the same. You can go ahead and adjust your aim assist response curve type, either to standard, linear, or dynamic. For me personally, I like to play on standard because at any given moment, they can go ahead and change how the aim assist works in Call of Duty. So just to prevent waking up one day after an update and having to relearn how to use the aim assist, how to aim at longer ranges and outgun players no matter where they are on the map, I go ahead and keep this on standard. And for the beta, I do recommend going ahead and keeping this on standard through the entire beta, just in case they make some changes before the official release. So make sure you guys go ahead and play on standard. And even if they don't make any changes, this is still going to be the best once the game actually fully releases. Now, everything else, obviously, target aim assist is going to be turned on. ADS aim assist is going to be turned on. All of these are going to be the same. I have motion sensor, all this stuff turned off. For your movement settings, I do go ahead and turn off sprint assist. You absolutely want to make sure your sprint assist delay is set to 0. This is a setting that might have a value when you boot up Black Ops 7. Some of the settings are going to be ported from Black Ops 6. So make sure you guys go ahead and expand this and put this to 0. Again, some of these settings are in some weird spots, so make sure you guys are paying attention. Mantle assist, I personally go ahead and turn this off so I'm not accidentally mantling over something that could get me killed mid gunfight, because it'd be horrible to lose a nuke streak just in case, you know, you're in a gunfight, you go over like, you know, a ledge or a box and mantles. We didn't want to happen. That's why I had that turned off. Crouch assist is also turned off, so I don't want to go ahead and accidentally enable some movements that I did not want to do. Corner slice off. Wall jump assist I actually have turned off as well. Active roll assist I have turned off. Again, I don't want to be doing any movement that I'm not actually trying to go ahead and enable myself. Slide dive behavior, I personally go ahead and keep this on hybrid. I did that in Black Ops 6, and I'm going to go ahead and do it in Black Ops 7 just so I can have full controllability of what's actually going on in game. If you want to have full controllability, hybrid is absolutely amazing. Everything else here is going to be the same. I have automatic airborne mantle. This is a setting that I actually go ahead and turn off because, again, I want to have full control of my character. And everything else here is going to be the same. I've not made any other adjustments. For the combat setting, everything else here also is going to be the same, but I do have my C4 detonation set to 1x1 just so I don't have to have both of them thrown at the same time to go ahead and activate them if I decide to go ahead and use C4s. Definitely take a look at these settings. Again, some of these settings are in some weird spots, especially under the aiming tab. So make sure you guys pay attention to the video so you're not missing anything and running the incorrect settings here in Black Ops 7. Now, under the graphic settings, there 100% are some settings you need to go ahead and adjust to improve your aim, accuracy, and gun skill at those longer ranges. Pay attention. So for your field of view, I always recommend playing within that 100 to 120 FOV range. This not only is going to be giving you a bigger picture, but when you go ahead and couple this with the affected ADS field of view, this is actually going to allow your iron sight or whatever optic you're running on your weapon to be within that 100 to 120 FOV range. I play on 120, so my iron sight and optic is going to be on the 120 FOV. This is going to be so helpful at winning gunfights at longer ranges, because once you go ahead and set these settings up, you're going to have less visual recoil, so your weapons are going to be a lot easier to use at longer ranges. Even with guns that have a lot of recoil, it's going to feel and it's going to seem like your weapon has less recoil. If you're ever wondering how other streamers or other, you know, players are outgunning you at longer ranges with guns that have a lot of recoil or just straight lasering you, even with weapons that don't have a lot of recoil, definitely go ahead and switch to the 100 to 120 FOV range and run affected. You're going to see an immediate improvement to your gameplay, and it's going to be a night and day experience if you were not running these settings prior. Do not sleep on this. Now, everything else here is going to be the same. I do recommend going ahead and turning off world as well as weapon motion blur. These are going to be giving you a very annoying haze on your screen. Things are not going to be looking nice. If somebody's in a dark corner, it's going to be difficult to see them. And for the weapon motion blur, whenever you try to go ahead and turn on somebody or just go ahead and make a quick, you know, glance in an area, you're going to have blur, which is going to be making things difficult to see. I personally recommend going ahead and turning both of these off. Now, first person camera movement, you want to go ahead and have this at 50%. If there are explosions going off around you, the screen is not going to shake as much as if you were going to keep it at, you know, default 100. Make sure you guys go ahead and put it at 50%. The game is going to feel and it's going to run, honestly, a lot better because your screen is not going to be shaking. So you're going to have an idea on what's actually going on. Now, I do actually have inverted flashbang turned on. This is a personal preference setting. You don't have to go ahead and enable this. You might like inverted flashbang, but at the same time, you might not. And it's not gonna make or break your setting. It's just personal preference. Now, for the audio settings, they don't call me ears for nothing. There are definitely some settings you want to go ahead and adjust here that you might actually be sleeping on. Under your master game volume, you can probably tell immediately that I have the gameplay music cranked down to 30. It sounds good, but sometimes, in my personal opinion, it is overbearing. Everything else here should be left at 100 just so you can actually have a full immersive feel, and it's also going to be helping you out listen for footsteps. Now, speaking of footsteps, for your audio mix, if you have a headset that you've purchased within the last 7 years, I have an Astro A40 TR headset that I bought back in Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. Crazy. You definitely want to have headphones bass boost enabled. This is going to allow you to hear not only gunfire but footsteps way more clearly, so you can essentially pinpoint where people are going to be at on the map without actually needing a UAV. This is going to be super helpful if you're trying to go on streaks or just win more gunfights and play smarter. I highly recommend playing on the headphone bass boost setting. You're definitely going to enjoy this, especially if you have a headset, so make sure you guys make that adjustment. Everything else here is going to be the same. I've not made any other changes. For the voice chat, the only thing that I went ahead and actually made changes to is I have my microphone set to push to talk. Obviously, making content, it's going to be the best to have it set to push to talk, just so I'm not annoying the lobby and yeah, just respecting the lobby. So that's why I have push to talk enabled. And finally, for the interface settings, here's everything that I have set up under global. Really nothing has changed here. The only thing that I do go ahead and turn off is the telemetry. I personally don't like to have all that on my screen, so that's why I have everything turned off. For readability, it's just going to be very, very basic. I've not made any changes here because personally, I like the default settings as well as the gameplay HUD. You can see here exactly what you can change and turn off if you want. Personally, I like to go ahead and have all this information turned off as far as the gameplay HUD. That's why I go ahead and leave it. You can adjust your HUD bound. This is where I like to have my HUD, and everything else here you can go ahead and enable. Now, sometimes radar is going to be turned off by default. I go ahead and turn that on. And again, obviously, all these are going to be turned on and enabled as well. These are going to be the best settings you should be running here in Black Ops 7. Make sure you guys go ahead and play on the tactical button layout and obviously adjust your sensitivity accordingly. Again, I recommend playing within that 1.2 to 1.6 range. This is not only going to allow you to outgun players at longer ranges, but be a lot more accurate at close range as well. Play within that window, mess within that value area to fine tune your setting. But if you're a running gun player, you like to move around, definitely 1.5 to 1.6, you're gonna love it. If these settings do help you out, come back to this video and let me know down in the comment section. It's been your boy Ears, and if you guys enjoy, drop a like, subscribe to the channel, turn those post notifications. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Deuces.